All right, so today we're looking at the e-commerce email marketing funnel, and then more specifically, the filters that you need to put in place in all of your flows to make sure that people are not getting all of your flows at once. So the reason we have flow filters set up is to basically make sure that we're only keeping a subscriber in one flow at one time. If you don't have these flow filters, then they're just going to be in all the flows and they're going to be inundated with emails and they will unsubscribe for sure. Two things to take note of. Each condition that you have, you must use an AND condition. So let's just take a little look at this example here. So placed order and checkout started and added to cart and. So every time you're setting these up, you've got to use the and not the or. So the reason for that is because all these conditions have to be true, not just one of them. So basically what the flow filters are doing is they are including people in the flow if these conditions are true. So that's something that I see a lot of people they make mistakes with. They think that they're filtering people out of the flow. So have they placed an order? Yes, they have placed an order. Okay, filter them out. That's not how it works. What we're actually doing is, have they done this action 0 times? Yes, it's true. Have they done this action 0 times? Yes, that's also true. And so forth. It just keeps going down like that. So basically, the filters are letting people remain in the flow. It's not filtering them out. And one last thing to take note of is this is an option for all these flows. You can put has not been in this flow for the last 30 days. You could do 7 days. It could be 60 days, whatever you want. It just depends how aggressive you want to be in terms of trying to convert people. Generally, 30 days is a good benchmark to stick with because, that's the payment cycle when people get paid again. Maybe they thought about a product, but then they didn't want to do it. And then they get paid again next month and they think about it again. So 30 days is a good place to start. So let's just take a look at the funnel and the different filters for each flow. So this one here is the most aggressive in a way because it's filtering a bunch of people who haven't taken many actions. So abandoned site flow, abandoned collection flow, abandoned search flow, and then maybe the welcome series. So I'll get into that in a little bit, but definitely for abandoned site flow, collection, and search, you want to have all these filters in place. So what someone has done or not done, placed order 0 times since starting this flow. What someone has or has not done, checkout started 0 times since starting this flow. So are both of these true? Yes, they are. Okay, they stay in the flow. And then what someone has or has not done, added to cart 0 times since starting this flow. And then finally, viewed product 0 times since starting this flow. So if all of these remain true, then the people will remain in the flow. But if at any stage, imagine someone goes into the abandoned collection flow and then they start checkout, okay, then they're removed from this flow. And then they put into the abandoned checkout flow if they do not complete the purchase. So let's just move along the funnel a little bit here. So this one is what I like to do mainly for the welcome series. So I said, maybe you would use this for the welcome series. The only difference is here, down here. So view product, right? So I think it's a little bit aggressive. If someone is in the welcome series and then they only viewed a product and then did nothing else, you might want to just keep them in the welcome series. I tend to do it that way anyway. And if they then view a product, they will be in the welcome series. And then if they abandon that product, then they'll be in the browse abandoned flow as well. That's okay. Here we go. Let's look at this one. So welcome series and a browse abandoned. So this is the setup that I use. So placed order 0 times, checkout started 0 times, and added to cart 0 times. So again, if they take any of these actions, then they're removed from the flow. So imagine someone is in this flow, the browse abandoned flow, and they add to cart and then they abandon. Well, then they get put in the abandoned cart flow. And the flow filters for that are placed order 0 times and checkout started 0 times since starting this flow. And then finally, imagine they're in the abandoned cart flow and then they start the checkout, they get to the final stage and they abandon that again. I mean, listen, this would be weird. If someone is doing all these actions and, they keep abandoning, all right, it would be a very extreme case. But, just in case it is set up like that. But it's more for people who do certain actions and then abandon it once. You bring them back again. Hopefully you convert them on that next time and they don't just keep abandoning. So then finally, abandoned checkout. The only filter is placed order 0 times. Generally speaking, what you want to do is use the Klaviyo templates, right? So they do a pretty good job of putting all the correct filters in there. Personally, I think they miss out a few here and there, but, all in all, they do a pretty good job. Where they miss them out is definitely in the welcome series. So I personally like to remove people from the welcome series once they've added to cart or started the checkout and definitely placed an order for sure. But, Klaviyo does not set up any filters for the welcome series, which I don't know, I find that a bit surprising. And then second of all, the abandoned site flow. So what that is if someone just goes on the site, maybe they read a blog or they just look at the homepage and then they abandon it. So that one is not a Klaviyo template, and you actually have to set this up on your own. And I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. But first of all, let's just check out the welcome series and how to set up the flows. We'll just do one walkthrough. So super easy to get there. You just click flows like that, and then you click create. And here you can do a search. You can put welcome, and then it will bring up a bunch. And then you could also just scroll down and have a look at all the different flows there are. All right, so let's just take a look. So welcome series. Obviously, you can see there's a bunch of them here. Now, let's not get too complicated in this video, but you can split up customers from non-customers to actual customers. You can have different messaging for them. You can do a welcome series just with SMS. Here's another one, a unique discount reminder. Gosh, I've never even set that up, but I'll check it out. And then here's the standard one. So let's just look at this standard one. So let's just check a list, whatever, like that. Really matter. I've chosen the wrong list, but it doesn't matter. All right, so here we are in a standard welcome series. It's got 1, 2, 3 emails. Personally, I like to push it a little bit more, 4 or 5 emails. If you've got a lot to talk about, you can push it up to even 8, especially if you have higher value products that need a lot of explaining and convincing and social proof and testimonials, all that stuff. You might want to push it to a few more emails. So one thing that Klaviyo does here, which I really don't understand, is they set it to go at a certain time of day. I just remove that. I mean, it's really an odd one. If somebody is signed up to your pop-up at, say, 9:30 in the morning, that might be a time of day when they are generally shopping or just they have some spare time. So I like to make it so it goes again 24 hours later or 2 days later, 3 days later at that time when they previously demonstrated that they were free and looking for something. So I always get rid of that specific time. It was being a little bit strange, but you seem to have to untick it from there. You can't just exit out. And there we go, click save. So there we go, 3 days later. But again, let's just change this. So this is not really a timing video, but I definitely would like to email people a lot more quickly than within 3 days later and 4 days later. I mean, a lot of people have done research on this. If you even send 2 emails on the first day, your conversions go up. So you really got to strike while the iron's hot. So 1 day later is definitely the best way to go for me. All right, so here we go. Let's just click here. And as you can see, there are no profile filters added at all. So let's just add it, add a profile filter. And then here we go. Let's do what someone has or has not done. Then just go in here, placed order. And then 0 times since starting this flow. And has or has not done. We'll just do added to cart. 0 times since starting this flow. Sorry, wrong one. It used to be at the top, what someone has not done. So I'm so used to just clicking that. I'm starting this flow. So again, as I mentioned before, this is how I like to keep it. If you want, you can put in that viewed product as well, but that's really aggressive. And they may not really be ready to buy. So I want to keep them in the welcome series. So there you go. That's it. All of the filters are set up. So if anyone performs any of these actions, they are then removed out of the flow because they don't match the criteria anymore. All right, there we go. That's set up pretty easy. So now what we're going to look at is the abandoned site flow. So it's a bit of an odd one. It's super popular flow and it works really, really well. And all, decent email marketers are going to set this up. But for some reason, Klaviyo don't have it installed as a template. So you've got to create it yourself. So let's just do create flow and then build your own. Let's just call it abandoned site flow. Create manually. Then your metrics, and then Shopify. Actually there now. Where is it? Oh, it's an API metric. That's right. Active on site, and just click save. So that's basically just active on site. They haven't, viewed a product. They haven't, viewed a collection or anything like that. So someone was active on site. So then you go ahead and then add all those profile filters to ensure that they don't stay in the flow if they do any of those actions. So let me just rush through this. Okay, so there we go. I've set that up. And as you can see, I got the placed order 0 times, added cart 0 times, checkout started 0 times, viewed product 0 times. So that's an additional one. And then as well, I've put has not been in this flow in the last 30 days. So I do think it's important to have that for this one. If somebody just, keeps going on your site, having a look, going away, going again, you don't want them to come in the flow again and again and again like that. So for this particular one, I do think it's really important. So you just click save there and then boom, there they are. And all of them with the and condition. Alrighty, so there you go. It's not too hard. And again, Klaviyo provide a lot of the templates already in place. But again, I personally like to stick to these. And they basically mean that you need to add one or two more depending on the template. So just have a look at this, set up one of these, and then has it got all of these in there? Then if it hasn't, then, add that extra one in there. Well, yeah, that's it. So, if you're interested in learning about, how to set up your flow as well, how to generate money on autopilot, check my link down below. And we talk about the 5 essential core flows, or, getting to 30-40%. Maybe you've set up the 5 core flows, but you want to push it more. You want to get, 8 flows, 9 flows, 10 flows. The sky's the limit, really. But, there's one of my accounts has 25 flows set up. All of them are generating money. Some of them not a huge amount, but literally all of them are generating money. And flows can get really, really specific and really talk to a specific customer of where they are at in their purchase journey. So I really, really like flows. The volume is a lot less, but they're super hyper specific. And quite often it still makes up the 50% of your Klaviyo revenue. So check those 2 links below. And yeah, hope to see you there. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.